Hello, everybody. This is Young Penitent back at you again for a three-peat, 3 nights in a row. Yes, that's right. And I bet you were wondering if he was going to go live again. So I can say this time, welcome to my icon corner, except I've just got the photo put up in the background. But it still works. I didn't have to adjust my whole desk, my whole room just to get set up. It's a little easier this way. So you still see my icon back there, my icon corner. Orthodox Boomer Grandma's here in the chat. She says we just watched 2012, The End of the World movie. I should probably check this out. I don't know what that is. I have never seen that movie. I haven't even heard of it, I don't think. I do remember there's something about the Mayan calendar or something a number of years ago. And people thought the world was ending because of some Mexican Mayan calendar prophecy. And it didn't happen. Like, all those end of the world kind of ideas never happens. Nothing ever happens. But I'll be interested to look at this movie. So I have show and tell tonight. That's the idea. I'm going to get around to it. First I'm going to just let people filter in, do a little bit of intro, chat you up, show a meme that I created, that I posted on X. And then I'm going to get into a talk about the use of vitamin C, high dose vitamin C, which I mentioned in last night's stream. And you need to keep hearing this. When I personally believe from experience, and I know from experience, the usefulness of high dose vitamin C. And I think it's a very useful tool. And I think everybody should know about it, and people should start to learn how to use it. Yes, I'm going to the monastery. We're leaving. I mentioned yesterday I'm going up to the retreat at All Merciful Savior Monastery. We're leaving tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, hitting the road, me and a couple ortho bros from the parish. So we're leaving tomorrow. I still need to pack and all that, but I didn't want to go. I wanted to do it 3 nights in a row, and people, because I noticed, like, when I did a couple nights ago, I had like maybe 20 people watching live, and then the next day it was 30 or more. So I think if people kind of get used to me going live at the same time every night, then they'll look for me, and that's what I want. I want you to look for me to go live. So let's see. What did I want to? Okay, so while people are filtering in, I want to just show this meme that I made, and it's on X here. And so I was responding to this this post here. This guy here says, "It's so over for simps, OnlyFans, and influencers."
These beautiful things that I've got, please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God, don't take. I want you, I need.
Okay. Oh, whoops, I was muted. Okay. So this is an AI generated video here. And you look at the lips, it's a little not entirely realistic yet, but it's the rest, the face, it looks like a real person. And this is AI has the only real limitations right now for AI. I think, well, I'm not an expert, but I try to keep up on this. I think it's interesting. Is The limitations for AI right now is that it takes a lot of power and computer usage and memory storage and stuff. It hasn't AI, the whole infrastructure for AI hasn't been built out yet completely. And this was the whole Stargate thing that Donald Trump was saying he's promoting this Stargate, which is going to be this AI infrastructure outbuild. He's making it easier. He's cutting regulations. He's getting money, investment capital put into artificial intelligence, and they're going to be building out the infrastructure. They're going to be creating power plants, and they're going to be creating power plants and big server farms and large big buildings full of computers, basically, so that they can do more AI. Like AI could start making movies, and episodes. You could have a different episode of your favorite TV show made every night. You come home. How would you like that? Have a new episode every night. You come home and you have a new video to watch. But unfortunately, I mean, there's the uses of AI is going to be incredible, but unfortunately, a lot of it is going to be going to this kind of stuff. Like, look at the internet. I don't know. I can't remember what percentage of the internet usage is porn right now, but it's like some enormous percentage of the bandwidth of the internet usage is pornography, which is horrible. It's like, I don't know. It's like half of all the internet is going to porn right now. It's terrible. And in the future, they're going to have, these artificial, basically artificial girlfriends and stuff, and they're going to be streaming 24/7. And this is how I made this. So this is why I made this meme. If you go here, behind this is basically a demon. This is Balrog. You put on your glasses. This is from the movie They Live. So I'm just saying, the end result of this AI is going to be sucking all people into this depravity. It's really a bleak future I see once they get all this capabilities built out. So we might mine BTC, even if actually mining Bitcoin is not profitable on a small scale anymore. Maybe at the very beginning of Bitcoin, before they started having these large server farms. I should get someone on. I need to get someone on. I'd like to do more crypto centric focused content, because that's an interest of mine, and I might bring on find some sort of guest. If you know a guest that might be able to talk about that, feel free to hook me up with that guest. But it's not really profitable on a small scale anymore. Even if you have free energy, it's just I don't think it's valuable. You might be able to mine some other kinds of cryptocurrencies, but you'd have to pick and choose which one you wanted. So, okay, so now I got a few people here watching, and now I want to do my show and tell. Now, people need to hear about this. The first time, people need to hear about high dose vitamin C over and over again before it starts to get through our thick skulls, because we human beings have thick skulls. And just look at how, for example, Jesus Christ spoke to the apostles after he was risen. He said, fools, slow of heart to believe, we're always just we're dense. It's hard, to get the ideas going into our head. You have to hear it over and over and over. You have to pound it in. It's why we do Lord have mercy 40 times in church, because we're dense and we're slow. Now, I personally I use vitamin C every day. And part of that is because it's a treatment for schizophrenia. It's like the original treatment, the like original alternative treatment for schizophrenia was high dose niacin and vitamin C, where you would take like 16 grams of niacin a day and roughly equal amounts of vitamin C. And there was apparently uh, some studies showed that that was effective in reducing in symptoms for a large percentage of the people. So I take vitamin C for that reason every day for the antioxidant potential. I take about 20 grams. And people, you tell people this and it goes over their head. They don't understand. They don't hear it. And then I start to telling people about, like, if you have a cold or if you have a flu, how useful it is to take vitamin C. Like, vitamin C literally is the cure for the common cold. And I put a link in the description below to an article which talks about this. Now, vitamin C used to be, when it was first discovered, I think it was like, back in the 30s, like in the first half of the 20th century, they were discovering vitamins, and they were, the scientists were researching these molecules and discovering them for the first time. And people would win Nobel Prizes for discovering, vitamin B6 or B3 or B1. One of, there was some, I think pellagra was like was this illness that people were getting in in the South because they had their diets were deficient in certain vitamins. They were eating basically they're surviving on lard and grits, the poor people in the South of America. And they started giving them this B, and they were getting like, schizo. I can't remember what, I think it was pellagra. I should have reviewed this before I started talking about it, but they gave them this B vitamin and it cured their diseases. I think it might have been B3. Might have been the cure for pellagra. If anybody knows, they can correct me in the chat. But so, and pellagra had, if it got severe enough, people would get psychotic. And so that was what gave people the idea, like, oh, maybe if we give people high doses of this stuff, we can heal schizophrenics. So getting back to vitamin C, like many years ago, I had a friend who's totally like this one vitamin guy. He was like getting me into vitamins. Okay. And he started telling me to take vitamin C. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to take 30 grams of vitamin C right away, but I started taking 500. And I did that for a few years. And then I increased it to 1,000 milligrams a day, and then 1,500. And over the years, it kept going up. And I kept running into people telling me, you got to take more vitamin C. I kept hearing it from here and there and another person. And once I was at a monastery, I went to visit a monastery, and a guy was visiting from Australia. And he tells me, you need to increase your vitamin C. So I kept hearing it. You need to hear this over and over and over again before you finally get it through your skull, and that the idea starts to click and you start to act on it. Okay, so I'm here. I'm telling you, you might have never heard of high dose vitamin C, and I'm guessing most of the people watching haven't. So I don't expect me to tell you and you go and do this. Okay, but I'm telling you here, if it's the first time you hear it, maybe you hear it from someone else, maybe you hear it again. Start to look into it, start to think about it. OBG says we do 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day. That's a good start, I think. Here I live in Corvallis, and we have the Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University, and they study vitamins and stuff like that there. And there was an interview I read in the newspaper that one of the doctors there gave, and he was giving his recommendation for what should everybody like. He actually said that the daily recommended value should be about 450 milligrams. Everybody, that should be your minimum allowance. So everybody should be just take a 500 milligram, at least just one a day. That's a good starting. And that's what I'll suggest tonight. So you can have a small actionable step to take away from the stream tonight. Start by taking one pill, just one little pill. It's cheap. You can go on Amazon, get a 500 milligrams and start with a 500 milligram. This is how you get started. Maybe later down the road, you can increase and you can thank me later. So I kept hearing this. And so I finally started, taking it to heart. And here's my show and tell for the night. I mentioned this last night, but I didn't want to run away from the screen and go grab it. I bought this bucket. It's not showing here. Look at this. Ascorbic acid powder. This is like 2-gallon bucket. I ordered this on Amazon, and it's this is crystals, vitamin C crystals. So a 2-gallon bucket of vitamin C crystals. It was like, a little over $100 probably. And this will last me a couple years or something, the way I take it daily. And so what you can do is you can take like a teaspoon and put it in a water bottle. A teaspoon is about 4,000 milligrams. I do that throughout the day, because what you want to do is you want to get that level up throughout the day. You don't want to just take it like all at once, because if you do, the level will spike and then drop. So you want to be taking vitamin C at consistent times throughout the day. Okay. The Modern Hussar says, I dare you to down 2 cups right now. I'm not going to just take this stuff straight, but I have taken my vitamin C for the day. You can trust me on that one. And so I just want to give a little bit of talk about how to use this if you're sick. Like, maybe you don't need to take like 20 grams a day like I do every day. Maybe that's not enough, but you should know how to use this for when you're sick, because it is so useful. If you figure out how, if you get this skill of how to use vitamin C when you get sick, like, this is going to cut like all those sick days you take from work. Like, instead of taking 3 sick days, for example, you might just have to take 1, because you're going to kill your cold. You're going to reduce your my mouse is gone missing. I can't use my mouse right now. Hopefully I can fix that so I can show you this article. But this is such an important skill for people to learn, because this is how you can treat your illness. Like, if you have, now I'm connected. So if you have a cold, you're going to cure your cold. If you have the flu, you're going to turn the flu into a cold, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, this is like a miracle stuff. If I remember, I have this story that I tell people over and over again, that I woke up one time, had this terrible flu. I was feeling horrible. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I put like about 20 grams into a bottle of water, shook it up, and I just downed 20 grams at once. And I went from feeling horrible with the flu, and in the matter of like 10, 15 minutes, like, all that terrible suffering I was going through was gone. I felt like the flu had turned into a cold. And you can verify this yourself, and you will learn, like, because like if I did that on a normal day, if I did that like when I'm not sick, I would probably get diarrhea. That's like the only basically the only adverse side effect of vitamin C is diarrhea. And so what you need to do is you need to learn how to titrate up to bowel tolerance. And you should be you learn what your bowel tolerance is, and then you just take a little bit less than that. And that's the level you need to be taking, and you'll cure your cold, you'll heal yourself of your flu that you're having. It's just such a useful tool. So I'm going to present this article over the whole thing. I'm just going to show you guys the article. This is from dryourself.com, and there is a link in the description below on YouTube. And this is from Dr. Robert Cathcart, and he was doing his research, I think maybe in the 60s or something. And this, if you read this article, it's not too long, but he shows you the method for doing bowel tolerance testing to figure out what you need. And here's like a chart that shows, if you have a normal cold, you take 4 to 15 grams a day, 4 to 6 doses in the period, and then you just keep going. For how sick you are, you just keep increasing the number of grams you're taking and the number of doses. But if you just have like a regular cold, I think the link is in the description below. You don't see it? It's on YouTube. It's in the YouTube description. It should be there. I can drop it in the chat if it's not showing. So here's the link in the YouTube chat. But let's see. Okay, so these studies were being done. That's not what I wanted. Okay, here I am. So these people were studying, like I was saying, like back in the 30s and 40s and 20s when they were discovering vitamins for the first time. They were doing studies for, trying to treat illnesses with vitamins. And it turned in, like, nowadays it's called orthomolecular medicine. It's kind of a niche thing, but they were having incredible incredible results with treating illnesses with vitamin C. But the problem, as many of you know, if you go down the rabbit holes, that the vitamins, you can't make money on vitamins because you can't patent them, you can't turn them into a drug, you can't sell them for a lot of money. So they started to the scientific industry basically started to sabotage these studies. And so the studies that they did for vitamin C, they would use really small amounts, like 100 milligrams, 100 to treat a cold. That's nothing. I was just showing you taking tens of thousands of milligrams. That's what you need to do. So if you're doing a study, you're basically sabotaging it. And now all the doctors are taught, in school, they're not taught anything about this, but if they were to look into it, they would be told, they'd say, oh yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's because they didn't use the right dosages. They keep using these same tricks today, like for other, they did that for ivermectin during COVID. They did the test and they used like too high a dose or too low of a dose. And that's why people were like, oh, it doesn't work, so they sabotage the scientific studies. So let me go back to this. This is what you need to know, basically. This is the figure that you need to look at. And it shows you when you taking vitamin C here on each of these curves, it doesn't really do much until you get to a high enough dose. And then the symptoms of the illness drops off precipitously, and then it basically kills it. So you have the mild cold, you get up to 50 milligrams, and your cold's gone. Severe cold, influenza, what I just described to you. I took 20 grams at once, boom, and it was gone. And I was like, this is a miracle. So I just wanted to show this to you. I want people to know about vitamin C, and I use this every day. I take about 20 grams a day throughout the day. That's just me. I'm not necessarily recommending you do that. Like I said, start with 500. That's like the recommended amount that, you know, people would have. So this is a pretty easy read. And I mean, if you want to learn, vitamin C is also good for cancer. And this is just oral. Like if you went into taking intravenous vitamin C, it becomes even more potent because it goes straight into the bloodstream, and you can get the level up much higher. Like there's a limit to how much you can absorb through your gut. So for example, there is research into using intravenous vitamin C for sepsis. And it basically it's a miracle. It's like a miracle cure for sepsis, but they won't use it in most hospitals because they have certain regulations and it's frowned upon, and the people might come after them, like the insurance companies might come after them or something, or there's reasons why they won't use these things. But like in a perfect world, people would be using IV vitamin C as a cure for sepsis. Let's see. What is Steven saying tonight? He says, the whole vitamin C is stupid. You should use echinacea and golden seal root supplement. Also eat ginger and garlic. Okay, well, you can't tell me vitamin C is stupid because I know from experience. I just described to everybody how my flu disappeared and turned into a cold in 15 minutes by just slamming 20 grams of vitamin C. It happened. You can't, it's like a scientific experiment in of one, but it works, like try it yourself. I dare you. I challenge everybody. Everybody needs to go now before you get sick. Go to Amazon, order a kilogram package from Bulk Supplements of pure ascorbic acid powder, so you'll have it on hand. And then when you get a cold, when you get sick, you start taking it. Maybe you could take 1 gram, start with 1 gram, a quarter teaspoon an hour. Maybe that's like what most people will recommend when they're recommending this. They'll say just take 1 gram per hour when you're sick with the cold. And just try it. It's not expensive. The dosages are, it's like pennies on the dollar. It's cheap. It's not expensive. People will say, oh, that's, if you're just taking a bunch of vitamins, it makes for expensive urine. But that's a lie because vitamin C is cheap. No, it doesn't, and it won't cause kidney stones. I've been taking this stuff for decades. All of my, Steven doesn't like it. He says a kilo of that crap will destroy your liver and kidney. Well, you don't take it all at once. You don't just eat like a cup of this stuff. But I will tell you that there is no known dose of vitamin C is basically the most inert substance that exists. Like you could eat that whole thing of vitamin C and nothing would happen to you except it would come out the other end. There's no known dose of vitamin C at which a person will become sick. There's no known lethal dose. No one has ever died from vitamin C. It's basically the safest substance in the world. And it's just pure ascorbic acid. It's this exact same stuff that you'll find in orange, people say, oh, I drink orange juice. Well, you know why orange juice has your 100% of your daily vitamin C in it? Because they add ascorbic acid powder. The same with grape juice. when you buy stuff in the store and it says it has and it says it has 100% of your daily value, it's because they're adding ascorbic acid powder to that orange juice. Well, I mean, why not just go straight for the stuff, the good stuff? Brody Alexander knows. He says there's no known lethal dose, LD50. Lethal dose. Yeah. So I'm just telling you, like, I don't expect people to believe me. I don't expect you guys to act on this, but I just wanted to put it out there and give you this tool that you can think about. And maybe when you hear it from another vector, another person, once you hear it 2, 3, 4, 5 times or something, hopefully, it probably will never happen, but maybe it will. Then you'll start to act on it. You'll start to say, oh, maybe there's something to that, So Steven says, so you should never be sick. I'm not saying you won't get sick. I'm saying like when you do get sick, you just increase your vitamin C use and you basically cure yourself of what you have. It makes the illness much, like the symptoms will be reduced and you'll get over it quicker. So let's say I spend $150 for a 2-gallon thing, like I showed people. If you haven't seen it, I'll show you again. 2-gallon bucket that I bought off Amazon, just vitamin C powder in there. That thing pays for itself, because if I miss one less day of work, which is about what I'd get paid for, for a day of work, maybe more or less, that thing pays for itself, So Orthodox Boomer Grandma says, my mom was a chemist at Cal Berkeley and did tons of LD50 tests on baby chicks for stuff they made in her entomology lab. Interesting. So, okay, so that was my talk on vitamin C for the night. And like I said, I don't know what my schedule will be for the rest of the week and for the weekend, but I am driving up with some Ortho Bro friends. We're going up to the monastery tomorrow, and hopefully I'll do some sort of stream or get some recording, while in there. So, okay, that's my stream for tonight, I guess. I mean, is there anything else anybody else would like me to cover? I mean, I think I basically hit all the points that I wanted to. Yes, hand washing is also an effective form of preventing colds. That has been studied as well. And then after I get back from the monastery, I'll contact you, Michaela, and we'll talk about me coming down there, maybe during Lent or something. I could have another, have something to do during Lent, because between now and May, I'm going to England in May, but between now and then I'll have some time to maybe work in a trip. I have a lot of vacation time saved up at work, so I should take advantage of using that vacation time. Okay, so, well, I don't know. I think that's probably the stream for the night. So I'd like to thank you all. Sorry to cut it short here, but 35 minutes, that's not too bad. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me for my, let's see. Steven says, you should talk about your mental illness and how you deal with that. That would bring you a lot of views. Interesting. Maybe I should. I've been trying to treat my illness with the ketogenic diet, because there's a whole movement afoot, a whole new, like the latest research being done right now. They're studying this at Harvard. It's metabolic psychiatry, and you could just Google it or something. And it's it's basically using the ketogenic diet to treat your mental illness. So I have been trying the ketogenic diet for the last. I need to probably. I haven't been working with a doctor for this. I need to find some professional help probably to because I've been having trouble keeping my ketones up high enough. But I tried to reduce. I've been doing the ketogenic diet for like 9 months now, and I tried to reduce my medicine by like 5%, and it didn't actually. I felt it wasn't working. I didn't feel like it. I just recently raised my dose back to what I was taking. So I'm not going to give up completely. I'm going to keep trying to do it. Yeah, I mean, Steven says I should make podcast on this topic. I'm sort of like already. My channel and my podcast is already sort of focused on Orthodox Christianity. So I don't know if I could really switch to doing a whole channel about mental illness. I guess I could. I mean, I've done a few episodes on that, and I could. I don't know. Maybe try to find some guests. I'll think about that. OBG says I should get supervision. Yeah, the thing is like there's very few practitioners who are trained in molecular psychiatry. There's one over in Bend, but it's really expensive. I still might do it. I mean, I sold some of my crypto recently, so I have a little bit of money finally. So I actually might hire that guy and work with him and see if he can actually help me. I need to get my ketones up because I'm having trouble staying in ketosis. I have really high metabolism, I think. So it probably just my body just burns through. It burns through calories. It probably burns through ketones quick too. So, so this is a YouTube channel. I'll have to check this out. Engineering mental health. Talking about voices. I think you might have mentioned that guy to me before. Yeah, I think I heard a podcast from that guy. Okay. Oh, Jerry Marzinski. Yeah. Oh, so I should get him on, you're saying. Okay. I'll have to check out his channel and then see if he wants to come on. I don't know if he'll want to come to a little channel like mine, but I could always extend an invite. And if you're, I'd always need new ideas for guests to bring on. I bringing on people to interview always brings new viewers to my channel too. But so yeah, I'll actually go check into that now. So thank you guys all for watching. Sorry to, I see the view count keeps climbing up, but now I have to go and pack my bags and say my prayers and get ready for my trip tomorrow. So say a prayer for old young Penitent because I'm traveling. Say a prayer for a safe journey. Good night, everybody, and thank you for watching.